The Nerds of a Feather Podcast. New episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe on iTunes and Google Play. I'm gonna say the easiest one ever, and I would say that people who are listening to this are probably wondering why we haven't gotten here already. Jar Jar Binks. I know this is the easiest one in the world, but Misa hate that motherfucker.
So the reason I haven't mentioned Jar Jar is because I haven't seen those movies, which I think is ultimately a wise decision on my younger self's part.
Speaking as a Star Wars lover, you can skip the Phantom Menace for many reasons.
Yeah.
None more so than Jar Jar in his ridiculous screen time.
You didn't need to see those movies, though, to understand how terrible Jar Jar was. I mean, he was a cultural phenomenon of the worst kind.
Yes. There's even a joke. This was the late 90s, I think it was. And Rogue Squadron was a video game for the Nintendo 64. And they start off the game with the LucasArts logo, and Jar Jar gets like squashed under it. And it just even goes to show you, even LucasArts had to have like a sense of humor about it, because nobody liked Jar Jar. Now,
what a weird decision.
You know, here's the thing, right? So if George is going to defend it, which he did, his explanation was that, you know, Star Wars exists for all ages. And that when we were kids and we were discovering Star Wars for the first time, they gave us Ewoks.
Okay.
Right? So we had Muppets as like a way to kind of make it family friendly or whatever you want to call it. So what they were trying to do with Jar Jar was basically create a new generation of Ewoks or whatever.
That's
you know,
stupid. Something
lovable that kids could latch onto and probably pump out a shit ton of merchandise for people to buy up. And you know, if that was the goal, then they absolutely accomplished it, because kids loved Jar Jar.
Did they? I was not tuned into that.
Kids absolutely loved Jar Jar. But for those of us who had already grown up, he was the most annoying character. You just kept hoping they would kill him. And then came episode 2, and he's not alive, or if he's not dead, you're just angry he's on screen. And then they gave him like a promotion. Now he's like a whatever he was, like an ambassador of the Gungan people, and you're like George, you're not listening to us at all. Like we hate this character.
Did Vince McMahon write that?
Yeah, right.
Star Wars.
So by the time we got to episode 3, they had really cut down Jar Jar's screen time. He was still there, but they really cut back.
See, I didn't know that he was in all 3 movies. I thought he was only in one of those.
Nope, all 3.
That's even worse.
Yes.
Wow, that's just flagrant.
Yeah, so, you know, again, that one's a really easy gimme, but I felt that I had to say it. As a Star Wars fan, I had to mention Jar Jar.